Akademiks can't ride no wave.
And we're gonna see a lot of people quiet tomorrow. So Representative Nancy Mace, if you don't know, it's House of Representatives. Nancy Mace, I want you guys to know that she is a American politician serving as the U.S. representative for South Carolina. Interestingly enough, I believe Charlemagne the God is a radio personality out of Charleston, South Carolina. So I don't know. Maybe he knows a little bit about her. I don't know. Again, Charlemagne is my guy. Please, but there's an irony here. There's someone named Nancy Mace. She is a representative, a U.S. representative for the South Carolina 1st Congressional District. Because here's the thing. There's this idea, and I obviously know Charlemagne's too smart. He's not really accusing random people of making stuff up against Jay-Z. He thinks there got to be like a conglomerate or like a consortium. Well, I guess I'll help Charlemagne out here. So Charlemagne, if you're looking out for who's going against Jay-Z, you got to look in your home state, okay? You're from South Carolina. Well, there's a House of Representative member named Nancy Mace that's also from South Carolina. She's from the 1st Congressional District, and since 2021, she's been a member of the Republican Party. And just that we are abundantly clear, here we go. She is a U.S. House of Representative member. This is her right here. She's from South Carolina. Maybe Charlemagne knows a little bit about her, but she's one of the people who, because, and I wouldn't even dare to try to question her, not necessarily morals, but her motives. I wouldn't question her motives because she's a woman. And when we talk about domestic abuse and we talk about, some of these other things that really Jeffrey Epstein and others are accused of, it's really serious. So when she comes out and she says, hey, listen, this Epstein list and these files are really triggering to me. I can't just let it go. There's a lot of people saying, hey, who cares? That was just a random tip. Hey, this shit up. It was anonymous. Again, I'm not a woman. I've not been through some of these stuff. She's saying she cannot get over it. She wants thorough investigations into all of the people who were mentioned in these files. Now, again, I get it. In hip-hop, it's like, yo, y'all tearing down a black man. However, this is not coming from Akademiks. This ain't coming from Grand Wizard Chat, nigga. This is not coming from whoever y'all think is in hip-hop, that Jay-Z finna sue. Fuck out of here. What this is coming from is a House of Representative member from South Carolina. Her name is Representative Nancy Mace. She has tweeted this out saying, Mr. Chairman, this is a solid start. The Oversight Committee, however, needs to bring in more individuals to more thoroughly continue the Epstein investigation. Now, I want to, again, with hip-hop's media who told me when I said, why can't we talk about it? And they said, shut the fuck up. I need y'all to keep the same energy with someone from your own possible state. Tell her to shut the fuck up. Because she says, hey, listen, she wants to investigate this Epstein stuff. She says, here's my initial list, including your 7, but also including those already not deposed. So this is who they add. They say Woody Allen, Peter Attia, Doug Bann, Stephen Kevin Bonan. Okay, so Stephen Bannon. Ehud Barak, Gwendolyn Beck, Harry Beller, Leon Black, Richard Charles Nicholas Branson, Borge Brende, William Joseph Burns, Sean Carter, and if you are a little bit slow and you think that maybe, we're going to figure out who's paying them to bring up Jay-Z. Well, figure out who's paying the House of Representative individual from South Carolina, because she brought up Sean Carter, the person who we know as Jay-Z. She continued, Deepak Chopra, Maureen Comey, Alan Morton Dershowitz, okay? Glenn Dubin, Sarah Ferguson, Kevin Spacey, William Gates, Leslie Groff, Susan Hamblin, Reed Hoffman, Victoria Houses, Darren, whatever. Okay, there's a lot of people here. Oh, my God. Peter Mendelsohn, George Mitchell, Svetlana, I can't even say some of these names. Catherine Rumeller, David Rogers, Adriana Ross, Timothy Rouge, Daniel Said, James Stolley. That's the guy who emailed about, if you don't know, that's the guy who emailed about Jay-Z. Lawrence Summers, Lawrence Vysotsky, Theodore Watt, and Early Wayne, and Harvey Weinstein, a guy who Jay-Z was seen pictured with and hanging out with a lot. Okay. It's a formal letter and additional subpoenas are forthcoming. Okay. Now, I just want to point out that this is despite a lot of people in hip-hop saying there's nothing here to talk about and that we are, not using our hind brain and realizing that Jay-Z is only mentioned in substantive portions where there is a tip line call where someone is saying he did some stuff. Now, I've previously said, well, hey, listen, I don't know what Jay-Z has done. I don't want to accuse him of anything, but I do think that everybody included with this list should be at least talked to. Ask a couple questions. Hey, what the fuck were you doing with so-and-so at so-and-so? And that seems to be the thing that's going to come to light, right? Just to let you know, this is the official. This is not coming from hip hop media. There's a Congresswoman who wants to speak to Jay-Z about his involvement with the Epstein investigation. Keep in mind, not only as we've seen with the Hillary deposition, they might ask about other things. Oh, what about your husband getting head in the Oval Office, Monica Lewinsky? So it's pretty feasible that if they want to speak to Sean Carter, Maureen Comey, they want to speak to Harvey Weinstein and others, perhaps they have a method or way to try to figure out why these people have some information they might be care about. Okay? So, Nancy Mace, I don't know if I think she's been on media before, kind of talking about this. Give me a second. She had a tense discussion with Clinton. Hear what she says.
All right, Mr. President, Congresswoman Nancy Mace from South
That's her.
Carolina. Thank you for being here with us for hours today.
By the way, I also want to just say, man, because I don't want people to think that, bro, I don't really got nothing against Jay-Z. The point is this: if we saw any other names in this inquiry or investigation, we'd be like, oh, I think we should ask him a couple questions. I'm only ever sketched out about this Jay-Z stuff because everyone tells us there's nothing to ask, there's no one to talk to, and we shouldn't have ever even brought this up in the first place. And the problem is with us, not the fact that somehow, some way, this guy got in front of these people who seemingly may be problematic. Okay, but this Nancy Mace person in Congress won't let it go. So check this out.
know it's been a long day, and I know that we're going to wrap up soon for you. Did you know one of the witnesses who testified in the Epstein cases that Epstein said, you quote, like them young? Why would Epstein say that about you?
Are you asking his opinion? You're asking him to think about why Mr. Epstein would say
Correct.
something about him?
Why would Epstein say that
So
about
she's
the
asking you
president?
to try to be in Mr. Epstein's mind and guess at what Mr. Epstein would have thought about.
First of
Clinton
all,
likes them young, referring to girls.
that's not true.
What's not true?
That I have any interest in underage,
I didn't say underage, I said young.
but it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
Yes,
Okay.
at my age,
did-
anybody younger than I
Did
am
you
is
know
young.
Jeffrey
Okay. This is why your lawyer tries to get you to stop talking. Because he's trying to say, well, you know, they're trying to get him to say, do you like women young? And he's trying to like be evasive. And then they ask a question that says, is an intern young? He says yes. Now, what that does is anytime he's accused of either being interested in an intern or someone of the sort that would fit the bill, it goes to show what Epstein and his conversation may have said, which is he likes them young. So he doesn't realize, but they kind of tripped him up in an interesting way.
Epstein instructed a witness to deny you were ever on his island?
He didn't have to since I was never there.
Did you ever travel to Zorro Ranch?
Is that the one in New Mexico?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Have you ever flown on anyone else's private jet 26 times or more for overseas trips?
I have flown as many miles on other jets, but never with as many stops.
How many other people's planes have you used, like Epstein 26 times or miles, etc.?
I don't know. I did with Steve Bing, who's now deceased, and probably with 4 or 5 others.
Okay.
Interesting.
So maybe about a half dozen billionaires total. So how many dinners did you have with Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein in attendance?
She's asking to the best of your recollection.
I have no idea.
Okay. Did you ever discuss sexual misconduct allegations made against you with Epstein or Maxwell?
Never.
Did Epstein or Maxwell ever offer to help manage or silence women who made sexual misconduct allegations against you?
No.
Did Epstein or Maxwell ever offer financial support directly or indirectly to legal defense funds
She's on his ass.
related to impeachment
So this is the person who wants to talk to Jay-Z, just to let you know.
proceedings or civil actions against you?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you think a young girl massaging a president is unusual?
So are you asking his opinion?
Well,
You're
he was
asking his
massaged by
opinion?
a young woman. I'm asking if he thinks it's unusual that a president, sitting president of the United States, leader of the free world, that
So
it's
I'm sorry,
unusual
are
a
you
young woman
speaking
would
to,
be.
are you talking to the instance of the
Yes, is it unusual that
the
a young
back
woman would be
massage
massaging-
that occurred while he was not president? I'm just trying to understand. You said a president of the United States?
Former president?
Thank you. Just trying to make sure we're correcting the
Are you
time frame.
filibustering?
No, I don't need
Okay.
to. I'm actually trying to make
I
sure
think
that
I'm
as
pretty
you,
clear. He said he
you
knows what
said he
young.
was a sitting president.
Excuse me, could we just please go one at a time? Thank you.
You said a sitting president. I want you to be clear so that when he answers
Former
you,
sitting
the
president, how
record
do
is
you want to do
clear.
it? Is it unusual?
I have no
calls
idea
for-
if it's unusual.
Objection calls for speculation.
I figured. Did you ever think that all these women around Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell was odd, unusual, weird, or creepy?
There weren't all that many around when I was there.
How many would you say is not all that many?
I think on this big plane,
Chat, this is why I keep telling y'all, when someone's like, oh no, well, Hillary was like a lawyer before, so she could deal with this. He's answering emotionally. It's not about you either not doing anything, whatever. Don't give these people anything. And he's trying to give context, and they're just moving off the context, right? They're asking stupid questions, right? And his lawyer's like, fuck, like, don't indulge.
that was working long hours, having 2 to 4 people on there, I thought was, as far as I knew, they were all helping.
Flight attendants in tank tops and jeans, right?
No,
Do you believe you were a victim of a Jeffrey Epstein intel operation? Do you think that you might have been like caught up in some of what he was maybe potentially doing?
Excuse me, Congressman, which question are you asking?
I'm asking
Intel
if the-
operation?
First of all, I don't
Some type of intel operation. I'm just curious because it's been speculated on today and yesterday
understand.
that he may have been an intel asset. Do you think, perhaps knowing what we know now, the proclivity of it all, that he may have been targeting you as part of an intel operation?
I doubt it.
In 2019, you stated after he was arrested, I guess this would be the second time, you stated you knew nothing of Epstein's, quote, terrible crimes since you only met, quote, briefly on only, quote, 2 occasions. Was this statement false?
Excuse me, Congressman,
That's
can you
not
put in
an accurate
the
statement.
record
Can you
that
please
statement?
share us what you said?
Yes, in 2019, as reported by the media,
Which media?
this says this is the,
Can you share a copy of it, please?
okay, Daily Beast. It says, the title of this is Bill Clinton failed to mention his intimate 1995 dinner with Epstein. On your hand right now.
And they relied on.
Okay, so I'm kind of like, going over this one particular rep who is from South Carolina, and she's grilling him. Like, she's supposedly the person who's the most like gun-ho in, we're gonna figure out what the fuck is going on with this Epstein files. And she's the one who came up with this additional list. She says she wants more people to pose. She wants Jay-Z to stand or sit, actually, for a deposition, and a deposition in regards to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, if you ask me, I personally think Jay doesn't have too much association with Epstein. I think his associations is with Harvey Weinstein. And that's equally as disgusting, but, him doing a deposition, if their idea is just trying to figure out who was doing bullshit or creepiness, they could absolutely use info that they get from Jay if he's speaking about his relationship or, his time around Harvey Weinstein. So he is officially one of the people who's on the list.
On only a portion of it. They relied on only a portion of his full
And
statement.
that's the portion I'm focusing on.
Well,
he said
then-
he always was with Jeffrey
So
Epstein on
it's
2
actually a
occasions.
misrepresentation of his entire statement.
Well, can you let your client answer the question?
Well, can you ask it in a way that would make it clear that what you are
I'm being
actually
very
asking
clear. His statement said
is
he
the
met with
broader
Jeffrey
question
Epstein.
of what did he say?
He said he briefly met with him only
No,
on 2
the
occasions.
Daily Beast selected that piece
So
out.
are you denying that the president made this statement?
What I'm saying is that there is an entire statement. That's the statement on which the president spoke to.
Would you like to provide it to this committee?
We're happy to provide that committee. It's
Okay,
been
I would
public.
like.
Anyway. All right, chat. I need everybody to get over to Kick. We still have, let me see what time it is. We got about 3 or 4 hours left. And we're going to be doing this as a Kick exclusive. I know we didn't get to our normal topics. We're not doing too much on the Jay-Z stuff. They're going to act like we're crazy. So we'll see tomorrow in the fallout on what people say about it. Again, this is an elected official who thinks that Jay-Z should answer some questions. I've never said Jay-Z was guilty of anything. I thought that it was interesting that he was involved in this type of stuff. I thought Jigga was only selling bricks. I thought he was selling crack. I thought he was selling like drugs. I didn't think he was selling or he would be involved in anything to do with creepiness or, a bunch of like man whore activities. But nevertheless, he is. So we're going to see what everybody else has to say about it, but we'll see what the results of that is. So we'll leave that there